I can't stand him anymore.
Some moments in life break you so completely that the person you were before is just gone. For me, that happened on a rainy Friday in October. I was standing in my own hallway, listening to the woman I loved tear my world apart, and she had no idea I was even there. My name is Jake Miller, and that day I came home early from work. The systems at the logistics office crashed, so they sent us all home. I grabbed Emily's favorite vanilla latte, thinking I'd surprise her. Maybe we'd finally try that new Mexican place she was excited about. But the second I stepped inside, I heard her voice from the kitchen. It was sharp, cracking with a kind of fury I'd never heard from her before. And then came the words that killed everything. "Mom, I can't stand him anymore." His very existence suffocates me. I stood there, frozen, the coffee cups growing cold in my hands. I listened as Emily told her mother how pathetic I was, how clingy and needy I'd become. She wondered what she ever saw in me. The woman I had built my life around didn't love me. She didn't even like me. In that moment, something inside me just shattered. I set the coffees down on the entryway table and walked out of that house like a ghost, leaving the life I thought I had behind. I drove for hours with no destination in mind. The rain blurred the city lights into smears of neon and regret. I ended up at a cheap roadside motel, the kind of place where broken people go to hide. Room 12 smelled like old carpet cleaner and lost hope, but it was my sanctuary. My phone buzzed constantly, but I turned it off. I couldn't stand the thought of hearing her voice. The days melted together in a haze of greasy diner food and staring at the water-stained ceiling, trying to figure out how I became a burden to the person I'd given my whole heart to. Then exactly 1 week later, everything flipped upside down again. I turned my phone back on, 47 missed calls, dozens of texts from friends and family. And then one message from my best friend Kyle that made my blood run cold. "Dude, Emily's all over the news looking for you." "What?" I fumbled with the motel room TV remote and switched to the local news. And there she was, Emily, standing outside our home, clutching a framed photo of us, tears streaming down her face. "Jake, if you're watching, please come home," she begged the camera. "I don't know what I did wrong. I can't breathe without knowing you're okay." She looked completely destroyed. This wasn't an act, it was raw, real pain. So which Emily was the truth? The one on the phone who hated my guts? Or the one on TV who couldn't live without me? My sister, Sarah, eventually tracked me down at the motel. She took one look at my disheveled state and went into full big sister mode. But when I told her what I'd overheard Emily say, she froze. "Jake, are you absolutely sure she was talking about you?" "Who else would she be talking about?" Sarah pulled out her phone and showed me Emily's Instagram, post after post, pleading for my return. "She's not faking this, Jake," Sarah said. "She looks broken. Was it all a terrible misunderstanding?" 2 days later, Emily found the motel. "Jake, please open the door," she called out, her voice trembling. "I'm not leaving until you talk to me." I opened the door, and she threw herself into my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. "I thought you were dead," she gasped. "I thought I lost you forever." Her tears felt so real, so desperate. I wanted to believe her more than anything. Inside, I finally confronted her. "You said you couldn't stand living with him, that he suffocated you." Confusion washed over her face, then shock, then realization. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Jake, I wasn't talking about you." "Then who?" I asked. "My boss, Derek," she explained how he micromanaged her, hovered over her desk, and made her dread going to work. I said I didn't know how to keep working with him. "Not living with him," she clarified. It was like oxygen flooding back into my lungs. The nightmare was unraveling. She wasn't suffocating in our relationship. She was suffocating in her job. For the first time in a week, I could breathe. To prove her commitment, Emily quit her job. But the guilt and embarrassment of what happened cast a long shadow. Our future suddenly felt incredibly fragile. She started looking for a new job, but she faced rejection after rejection. The reason? Concerning employment history, I watched her crumble. One night she whispered, "I ruined everything, my career, our stability, us," but the real truth was still waiting in the dark. Late one night, I caught her in another lie. She said she was working late, but Kyle sent me her Instagram story. It was Emily, laughing in a downtown bar, wearing the dress she bought for our anniversary. And standing in the background was Derek, the boss she supposedly couldn't stand. I confronted her. Her shoulders slumped. "Jake, I didn't want to tell you the truth," she admitted. "What truth?" She took a deep breath. "I wasn't talking about Derek that day. I was talking about you." I panicked. I lied because I didn't know how to tell you. I was scared of commitment, scared of our future, scared of losing myself. Every word was a gut punch. "You let me disappear for a week over a lie?" "No," she said. "I let you disappear because I didn't know how to fix what was broken inside of me." We cried? We talked for hours, digging into her fears and my insecurities, but some cracks are too deep to patch. One morning, after another job rejection, she finally broke. "Jake, I want you to let me go." "No," I pleaded. "Yes," she whispered. We bring out the worst in each other. I lie, you assume the worst, I get scared and you run. We love each other, but we're toxic. She packed her things quietly. As she loaded the last box, she held up that framed photo of us from Lake Tahoe. "I'm keeping this," she said, her voice soft, "because we were real. Even if it didn't last." She drove away, and I stood in the driveway of the home I once ran from, watching my life disappear all over again. But this time, I didn't run. I let her go. Because sometimes love isn't about holding on. It's about knowing when to stop hurting each other. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, share your experience in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life stories.